Air since 1951. This is The Legend. 105.3, 95.3, WDXE.
That's us, WDXE. It is time for Friends and Neighbors with yours truly. And my friends and neighbors today are longtime friends of mine, Jackie.
Yes.
And Tyler. Of course, Jackie's familiar at least a little bit because she used to come to the station here.
I'm back.
Yeah. And Tyler, of course, a native of Lawrence County.
That's right.
That's right. And we're gonna get to know you guys even more today.
Awesome.
That's what Friends and Neighbors is all about. Of course, you guys are a part of my real estate company. Been a part of that almost from the get-go.
Yeah.
That's right.
Since we started with Keller Williams and got all that started, you guys are a dynamic team and been doing a fantastic job. And we'll talk about the real estate business some, but that's not all. I want to talk about you personally, your lives, how things are going, basically, and begin with where you come from. Okay.
Okay.
That's what's more fun. It really, really is.
It is.
It is. Let's start with Tyler a little bit because Tyler Henson, your dad, David, and I, we go back a long way. David and I have known each other since we were kids. And then your grandfather, what was your grandfather's name?
Leroy.
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 He used to
Papa
call
Leroy.
here. He used to call here sometime.
Mm-hmm.
He passed away not too long ago. It's been what, maybe a year?
A couple years now.
Couple of years.
Yeah.
Okay, it's been longer than I thought, maybe. Well, we miss him. I know you do.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
he loved hearing Jackie on the radio with you.
Yeah.
He
did.
loved that.
He sure did. He sure did. He'd call in. I remember him. But so, growing up, you grew up here. Your family's here. Tell us a little bit of family history, if you don't mind. The Henson family, just a little bit. How far back can you go and say, I know this about my family?
I won't be honest with you, I don't know a whole lot.
Oh, my gosh.
I
just
know.
was busy being a kid.
You were busy being a kid?
I know
Still am.
that Papa Leroy had been in the house that he was in for a long, long time. And that was where Tyler's dad was raised, if I'm not mistaken.
Where was that?
Yeah. Out in New Prospect.
Yeah, it was out in New Prospect because David and I went to New Prospect School together.
That's right.
Many, many years ago. So,
And that's where, basically all my memories of him are at that house.
yeah.
He had a big garden there he was so proud of.
Yeah, and
So
I know the place,
proud
but I
of.
can't think of the road. What was the road that's on?
Oh, gosh.
You remember the road?
Oh, that beats me. I cannot remember.
What is the name of that road?
As a joke, I would call it Possum Trot Trail.
Well, okay.
That was his favorite inside joke to me.
Well, Tyler, you grew up, graduated school. Did you go to college?
Well, briefly.
Briefly?
Yeah, it wasn't my proudest moments.
I understand. I understand. We're gonna race through some of that, but I want to get to how you guys met. Because one of the stories I got, and I may have this wrong, but one of the stories I got from a source is you stole her cake and ate it.
Oh, yeah, he did. Which to be fair, we had an agreement. I just didn't know him that well, so I thought he might confirm before he took a bite of my cake, but there was no confirmation. Just fork stuck right in my cake. It was at a wedding reception.
Yeah.
For some friends of ours who live here now in Leoma, and they were interns at the wedding. They were interns at the church that we were attending at the time at United Church, and Tyler was actually one of the groomsmen. We had known each other through the church previously, and then we ended up getting reconnected at the wedding, I would say. And we walked into the reception, and I wanted both cakes, but I didn't want to look like I wanted both cakes. So I was like, I'll get the bride cake, and you get the groom cake, and then we'll share. And he was like, okay, deal. So we go and we sit, and then, like I said, you think you'd confirm first because I don't really know you like that. And he just reached over and stuck his fork in my cake and took a bite, and I was like, okay, so that's how this is going to go. And I stuck my fork in his cake. And then we just got to talking all night and ended up exchanging phone numbers and kept talking. And then he would come down to visit me while I was in college. So we kept sharing cake and we just fell in love.
And then now you share a life together.
We do.
We do.
And we work together. So it's like the
Y'all
whole
non-stop.
life.
Non-stop all the time. Yeah, I keep up with you.
Yeah.
And you guys have worked hard to establish a real estate business and career together, and that's been a wild ride.
It has
But
been.
that's not how you started working. What was some of your first work, Tyler?
My first job
Yes.
was at the Superama in Loretto. I was bagging groceries.
Really?
Absolutely. And that job taught me a lot,
Well,
actually.
yeah.
Working with the public. And, I was a pretty shy kid, even as a teenager, pretty shy unless I got to know somebody. So it definitely helped me, get more comfortable talking to people, just talking to strangers, starting conversations.
Get to see a lot of
what
folks
we
doing
do now, right?
Yeah.
Start conversations with people we don't know.
Yeah, you get to see a lot of folks at a grocery store.
You do, yeah.
You do.
Get to know a community at a grocery store.
Absolutely.
That's right. So it's down at Loretto?
Yeah.
The Loretto store?
Yeah.
Well, cool. What was it like, early on, one of the things I drove through Marshall's yesterday.
Yeah.
Marshall's Grocery is one of my favorite places to swing by every once in a while in Etheridge. And one of the things they have there that I really like is a chicken salad sandwich. They have a chicken salad sandwich there. And sometimes I'll call ahead if I'm headed north. I'll call, and Joyce answers the phone usually. And of course, I've known them a long, long time. So I'll say, "Hey, I want a chicken salad sandwich and and a drink," and he'll have it ready, and you can drive through.
Dang,
And,
that's awesome.
So I get my sandwich, but we're talking while I'm waiting on it. And we're talking about she was needing some, and she won't mind me telling her, she needs some young people to work.
Yeah.
And so we got to talking about how that the work ethic among our young folks is almost dead. And I know y'all didn't particularly come to talk about this, but you were a young man and you decided to work. And I know now, knowing you, I know your work ethic, both of you. And in my eyes, you guys are young. Okay, very young. So there are young people who are willing to work, but there's a lot that don't know the value and benefit of it, really.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? I don't know that they really understand how great it is for them personally. You said that was a great experience for you.
In retrospect.
In retrospect, yes.
I wasn't excited about being there, but I did. I mean, I needed a job. I had to get a job, right? Family I grew up in, I was very, very blessed, but we didn't have, money for a lot of extra things. And I knew that, if I wanted things like a cell phone and gas in my truck and things like that, that I was going to have to work for it and get some money for it. And so that's what I did.
But I guess that's some of the difference, though, is even as not as far back as even your generation. We have a generation now that they don't have to work for anything. It's we hand it to them.
Well, that's the choice of the parents.
I know. I'm making you dive deep already. I know.
No, I'm good with it.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I agree with that, and yeah, I mean, perhaps life would have looked differently, right? If I would have been free to focus on school. I wasn't that great at school.
Me neither.
I felt like I was always pretty smart. I did pretty good considering I didn't ever do my homework and study very much. I still got by. It makes me feel like if I could have focused or would have. But, that's the difference. Like, would I have focused on school if I wasn't working, Because I was working 4 days a week.
Yeah.
Weekends and, after school. It was 2 days after school, 2 days, on the weekend, of course.
Similarly, I was a lot the same way. I never did homework. I went all the way through. I went all the way through school and don't think I ever actually read a book from cover to cover.
Nicely done.
It was but somehow passed. Somehow I was able to get it. But I also worked as a young. Not that I necessarily really had to, but I wanted to. I was bucking to grow up fast. Were you that way?
Oh yeah, that's that grit.
We were
Grit in us.
We were bucking to, and my daughter May has that in her. She can't wait to be an adult, and already thinks she is. She's 15,
Right.
and she would boss if you let her. I'm talking about she'd run over you if you let her.
She knows what she wants. That's good.
So anyway,
It feels like freedom, but it's not. We know that now.
we know that.
We
now.
know that now. Yes.
We know that now. I know you guys are Christian people.
Yeah.
Study the scriptures, and we're talking about kids. Now, honestly, didn't bring you in here to talk about this. This is the direction we've taken for some reason.
Let's do it.
But we're instructed in the scriptures on how to bring up our children. And I had an old preacher years ago tell me this. Well, people use the term, we got to raise these kids right. Mm-hmm. We got to raise them right. And he he smacked me in the face one day and said, "Look, you raise hogs, you bring up children."
Huh.
And that's
I like
scripture. You bring up children in the nurture and admonition of the Lord. You raise hogs.
Yeah. There you go.
So
I get that.
I've never forgotten that. So anyway, you guys don't have kids yet, but when you do, put that in your little hip
That's
pocket.
right.
Yeah, we'll do
My
that.
mama used to always say, she used to quote, "Spare the rod and spoil the child."
That's true.
And I would always twist that on her and say, "Well, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to be sparing the rod and spoiling the child."
That's right.
It didn't work.
A little different twist on the
didn't work.
scripture.
That's right.
That's
A
right.
little out of
That's right.
context, but
Well, Jackie, tell me about your young life, because you're not a native of Lawrence County, and although we're so proud that you're here.
I know. I got here as
but,
fast as I
but
could.
You got here as fast as you could, but you were in one of the better states in the country. You grew up in Texas, did you not?
I did, yes.
What part of Texas?
I grew up in Plano. It's a little bit north of Dallas.
I know where that is.
And I grew up in the newer part of Plano. So West Plano was where I went to high school, my old stomping grounds. Had a lot of friends there, but I actually feel like I grew up more in college, oddly
Yes.
enough. So I did go to Texas A&M. That was where I studied and got my degree that I don't use. So it's good.
What did you get your degree in?
My degree is in Spanish language and literature with a minor.
Can you speak Spanish?
I can. I can speak Spanish fluently. I jest really because I have been able to use Spanish in our real estate business quite a bit.
we went to Miami.
Oh yeah.
She tried to sell me to the Cubans.
She did.
I believe so.
I did.
Yeah, I didn't know what she was saying, but that's my take on it.
Well, she must have not been successful. She still has you.
I don't think they wanted me.
Well, I tried to trade him for like 2 giant bags of coffee, but they wouldn't go for it.
Bags of coffee.
Anyway.
Oh, we're gonna talk. Let me talk about that in a minute. So
Yeah.
So you grew up in Texas. You went to Texas
A&M.
Texas A&M.
Giga Maggie's.
All right. We'll forgive you.
Hey, at least I didn't say roll tide, right?
Oh my gosh. Lord help
You
us.
just did.
Lord-
But it ain't for me. I was
Lord help
saying
us.
it like to quote some crazy people.
Those crazy roll tide
Those
people.
crazy roll tide people.
You know, I think one of the funniest things I heard or read or seen during the, Nick Saban's retirement.
Yeah,
Of course, they loved him.
they did.
Oh my gosh,
They did.
Those Alabama fans loved him, and of course, all people were making posts on Facebook back and forth about it during all that. And one of them said there would really be a lot of Alabama fans upset right now if they could read.
Oof.
Ouch.
Ouch. I'm sure some of your listenership is
I know,
there. Okay.
they know I'm kidding. They know I'm. I love my Alabama friends.
And we do too.
I
too.
have some good friends that are big. I had a buddy that I used to work with that actually played for Bear Bryant.
Oh,
How about
wow.
that?
Sure did.
Very cool.
Sure did. I stay in touch with him. He did. I got to know him when I worked for Lee Company, Governor Bill Lee. I worked for his company for a little while, and he was one of the VPs up there.
Oh, wow.
Good guy. He's since left and started his own company, but I still stay in touch with him some.
That's very cool.
But he's in Alabama. Oh my gosh, he's a nut over Alabama.
We have a client actually in Sarasota, Florida.
Yes.
And they just closed on their house in Franklin yesterday. And the second he signed the papers, he texted us and said, "Roll Tide."
Oh my gosh.
And I said, "I think you mean Gig'em." And he was like, "No, I do not. I do not mean Gig'em."
Good deal. Now,
It's a good time.
When did you guys meet? And I know, we talked about your meeting, but how long ago? What year did you guys actually? When did you get married?
So we got married in April of 2016, but we actually met about a decade ago. So that wedding was in the summer of 2014.
Now, where did y'all get married?
We got married actually in Columbia.
In Columbia.
At this cute little,
Muletown Lumberyard.
yep, cute
mu-
little
what?
place.
Muletown Lumberyard. It was an old lumberyard there in Columbia, and somebody turned it into an event venue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It was super cute.
Okay. Well, good
Yeah.
deal. Well, good deal. And let me think. You're working. Where were you guys working when you? Because you didn't start out in the real estate business.
That's
We
true.
did not.
No.
Tyler-
Give me a kind of a blow by blow of how the career got started.
Well,
How your
Tyler,
work life got started.
he has done everything under the sun, I feel like. Do you disagree?
I can't disagree with that. I've dabbled in a lot.
He has. Well, tell us about it. What
Well,
have you done?
at the time I was working at Southeast Carriers.
Yeah, when we got married.
Definitely, my most credible job, before, starting our real estate business. But that was a job I never thought I would leave,
Yeah,
it was a
that's when I
great
met
place
you.
to
You
work.
you were there when I met you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was how having my adult job, how I was able to fly down and see her while she was in college.
Woohoo!
Oh, really?
And be able to afford to do that, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. What did you do at Southeast Carriers?
I started as a driver manager, and then moved into what I would say was more like an operations manager type of position.
So what does that mean on a day-to-day basis? I mean, it's just if you can tell me. I mean, what does that? Were you dealing with setting up routes or freights, or I'm just guessing.
Yeah, I would help set up the routes and coordinate routes with other operations managers. Work with the driver managers to set up lanes on that. Create kind of systems and processes, as far as that went, to line those up and to run, efficiently.
Well, they've got a tremendous operation, been a very successful business over
Absolutely.
there. And they run a tight ship over there. And I don't know how many trucks they've got now, but you see them everywhere.
That's right.
They're a big operation, no
They
doubt.
are.
No doubt about it. And you were a part of that world. It's a fascinating world too. The trucking business is everywhere.
Yeah.
This country would shut down without it.
Absolutely.
I mean, in like a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Those trucks are running 24/7 everywhere.
They are.
And there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff. So you're a part of that office background. And that's when I got to know you. You guys got married. And Jackie, what were you doing?
I was working as a bank teller at the time. And I did that for about like 9 or 10 months, I guess.
Yeah.
Almost 11 maybe. And I really liked it. I worked for what's now called Biltwell Bank.
Yeah.
At the time, it was First Volunteer Bank.
I remember that.
And yeah, I really liked it. I felt like I got to know a lot of the community, which was fun. Because I didn't have very much community when I moved here from Texas, but got to meet a lot of people. Learned a lot about the banking industry, and it was kind of my introduction into the finance world, I guess.
Yeah.
Because now we work so heavily with lenders in our real estate business.
That's true.
And so I was a lender for a very short period of time. So I was a loan officer towards the end of my career at the bank. I was a loan officer for a month, I think that's right. And then, but yeah, so I was a bank teller when we got married, and then quickly moved into insurance, and I was an insurance agent for a long time towards the beginning of our marriage.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember too. You'd worked some at Heritage Automotive too, didn't you?
I did. Yes, I was the PR and marketing director
I remember a little
for
bit
Heritage
about that.
Automotive.
I think you might have been doing that when I first got to know you guys a little bit. And of course, Tyler was first to get his real estate license and begin to sell real estate, but you were still working in the trucking business at the same time, which is not uncommon for someone to start the real estate business like that. Not at all. And then eventually you got your license, and you guys became the Henson team as a part of our company. And I'm telling you, you guys have done a tremendous job. But it didn't start off as just a bang. You grew it, and there was a process to develop the business that you've developed, and I'm proud of you. You guys have done an awesome job.
Thank you.
Well, I mean, it really wasn't even something we set out to do, to be honest.
Yeah.
I didn't really want to be a real estate agent.
I remember a little bit of
Yeah.
this. I do.
Yeah.
I remember you coming to me at one time and said, "I don't see how this is even going to work."
I remember that.
I did.
I remember
I don't see
that.
how people do this all the time.
Which I look back at now and go, that's kind of funny because that's the experience people need to know of a lot of real estate agents that get in and then find out it's not as easy as it looks.
Yeah.
And have to get back out.
Well, and it was never my goal. We talked in the beginning. It was never my goal to leave my job and pursue this real estate business full time.
Yeah.
That was not even in my mind at all.
Yeah.
I literally just wanted to help a few people on the side and just give them a good, smooth experience. Use my operations experience to give people a great experience buying and selling their home. And we just grew pretty passionate about it, you know, and saw that we were able to really serve people through that and connect with people that we would never, you know, really get to know outside of that. And then when Jackie started helping me, it's like, hey, you know, we might be able to do this together, you know, and help people all the time, and, you know, do this together, not just see each other on nights and weekends, you know, and look forward to that when we can see each other, but we could actually, you know, like work together and serve people together, right? And just do this thing together.
That's not always easy.
No, it's not.
That's not always. Teresa and I, my sweet wife of 43 years now.
Wow.
Yes, we would never be able to work together. I just know that she knows that.
That's what most people say when they find out that we work together. Most people say, "I'll never be able to work."
Well, it doesn't just come automatic. There's things you have to work on to make that happen.
Definitely.
And
Absolutely.
I say we couldn't. You know, I guess we could if we were given that desire to do it.
Right.
We've obviously duked it out over everything else.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think that's the ticket is like, do we really want to do this?
Right.
If you're doing it out of necessity, that's one thing. But like, if you really want to, you'll find a way there. Right. That's with anything. Right. Our life moves in the direction of our strongest thoughts. So if we really want to do this, then we're going to make a way. We're going to figure it out, right? Because that's going to be our intention. That's going to be our goal. It's like whatever we run into, button heads with each other, no matter how much we hate each other today, we're going to figure this out because this is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
I agree.
It's been a lot of fun, honestly, and I say like it's not for the faint of heart because it does require a lot of growth. You know, I think a lot of times like people they'll sweep an issue under the rug, you know, like a married couple, they'll sweep an issue under the rug for the sake of like spending time together, you know, and then they never kind of revisit and dig it up and, you know, turn it over and find some kind of solution. And I think like working together, you don't have that ability, you know, because you're with each other pretty much all the time.
Yeah.
And then you're like client facing, right? So it's like if there's an issue between you, it's like, hey, we got to go talk to this client. We're gonna revisit this and we're gonna figure out what's going on and we're gonna work through it together. So
That's good. Well, you guys have matured nicely together in all of this. Very, very good. You know what I was going to ask you about too, because I keep up with you guys. You guys are social media users in a big way, and that's been a great part of your business, and you've learned to use it well. But one of the things I have noticed is that you guys have probably visited. You guys could actually start a restaurant critique business.
I would love that.
Because you guys go to a lot of places to eat. You're traveling a lot. You're out on the road a lot. You're away from the house a lot. So you obviously have to eat on the road. So one of the things I've noticed, and I even wrote it down to ask you about it, is let's talk about restaurants that you have visited.
Oh, yeah. This is my jam.
I don't know how much critiquing I do. I do a lot of eating and enjoying.
Well, that's normally when I've never seen a negative post about anything that y'all are, you know, I've never seen a negative post. You always have, this is fantastic. You should shoot a picture of the food. We've eaten here, and this is fantastic.
Well, that's because we don't share the stuff that we don't like.
And then, you know, that's
true. I mean, there's enough negative stuff out there. We don't need to contribute.
And I'm not asking you to tell me about the bad places. That's
yeah. And I think everybody needs a little grace, right? There's probably some times that I've messed up with some clients that I probably wish I could take back or do over better. And
Absolutely.
That doesn't need to be blasted.
Well, let's see. Sometimes we get phone calls that people want to talk to us, and this may be one. Okay.
Let's do it.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
Jeff.
Yes.
I want to tell you what a great cook Jackie is.
Oh.
I have had the privilege to have some of her cookies.
Oh.
When my daughter Shannon Watson and Daryl close on a house or something.
Yes.
They've been the agents.
Yes.
And Shannon has brought me and Shelby a cookie or two, and they're the best things I ever eat.
They are fantastic. I've got to smell one or two.
Hey, well, you need to eat one. They are great.
Well, you're in luck. They have a closing today.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to. Hey, Lanny, you have to share with me.
Okay. All right, buddy.
See you, buddy.
Thank you.
Bye. That's right. You always bring cookies to your closings.
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
And I've gotten one or two over the years.
I believe so.
Yeah,
you have.
They are fantastic. So I'm going to put in an order.
Okay.
All right, we'll do that.
It won't be the closing cookie, but I can make you something else.
Well, so if I wanted to, let's see, if I wanted to go within driving distance
Mm-hmm.
today, and I said, Teresa, let's when I get home this afternoon, I want to go eat somewhere,
Yeah.
and I drag her out of the house to go.
Mm-hmm.
Within driving distance, where should I take her today?
What kind of driving distance are you talking?
No more than an hour and a half.
Okay.
What kind of food you looking for?
Yeah.
Now, see,
No, listen, this is how we narrow it down. This is how
Okay.
we help people when they ask for recommendations. I'm like, what are you in the mood for?
well, I could eat anything.
Well, I could too.
Teresa likes more country style stuff
Okay.
than I do. I like to try exotic things.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
I do. I like to try stuff I've never tried.
Okay.
You know, like, oh, I never had that before. Let's try it. And Teresa's not that way. Teresa likes traditional, know what she's getting, that kind of thing. Are you? Either one of y'all like that?
I like both, but we love to
Yeah.
try new foods together. So there's something to be said for the old faithful that doesn't quit, and it is delicious. You know,
Yes.
right now we've got one of those, and it's kava. It's kind of like
It's what?
It's called kava.
Kava.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's like a chain. It's kind of like, I guess, kind of like a Subway almost. So you've got like a line of toppings, and you go down, but it's Mediterranean. So it is very tasty.
So that is a restaurant called Kava.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It is.
But that's probably not where I'm going to send you.
Right.
Okay. Where we sending?
Fresh on my mind, I would say. I mean, there's a lot of great restaurants here.
They are.
There really
They are.
is. But
Yeah.
I'm sure you've had all those.
Yes.
So to send you somewhere you've probably never been, we ate last week. We ate at E3 Chop House in Nashville.
I've heard of that.
A friend of ours is one of the owners, but they've got a new chef in there, and the steak that I had was just unbelievable. And normally I like to cook a steak at home. I do a reverse sear on our smoker, and I go all out and make a good steak at home. But this one, it just stuck out to me. And they have something that I think is really unique. I've never seen anywhere. They have Nashville hot lobster
Oh, yeah.
as an appetizer.
Really?
Oh,
yeah.
it's so good.
And I like the Nashville hot chicken, which is a lot of places.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But Nashville hot lobster.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, so they take lobster tail, and then they take little pieces, and they batter and fry them,
Oh,
and
Lord.
just doll them up like Nashville hot chicken, but it's little pieces of lobster.
Oh, my mouth's watering. It was so good.
Wow.
That's a really good place. I love E3. And it's not just a restaurant. They have a mission that they stand for, which is really, really cool. So when you support E3, when you go to E3 Chop House, you support the E3 Foundation.
Which is?
E3 Foundation is partnered with several other groups, but basically their mission is to help end human trafficking. It's a very incredible.
And they support veterans, to do that. Right? They bring veterans in on their mission to do that in their organization. Really incredible people. And you get to, so when you go to the restaurant, all of that beef comes from E3 Ranch out in Kansas, which we've actually been to,
wow.
which is awesome.
Yeah, I got my first helicopter ride over that farm. It was super cool. But yeah, all of their beef is very, very high quality.
That's great. That was the other thing I was going to ask you about. I know you guys get to travel a lot on a local level, but you guys have traveled out of state quite a bit too.
Too much.
Too much.
Yeah, last year one of our goals for the year was to do more out of state travel, and we kind of thought it would be like maybe 2 or 3 trips, and we tallied it up, and it was like 9. Right? Is that right?
I think so.
I think
yeah.
that's right. It was
But we
quite
get to, part of that was just, we get to meet and connect with a lot of different people. We learn a lot about different real estate markets and different build qualities and finishes that people are using, designs that people are using. We tap into a lot of that anytime that we travel. And it gives us just, great insight and knowledge to bring back here. But 9 was too much. I'm a homebody. I really am.
You would never guess that, though.
That's true.
By the activity we see of you guys on Facebook, you'd think that y'all are never home. But I know different because I call you and what are you doing? Well, we're just here at home.
Yeah.
But anyway, so you are a homebody.
I am, yeah.
Okay.
And and it's probably because we're out and about so much, connecting with people and
I like being at home too.
yeah. And I do enjoy connecting with people. If I'm home too much, like when everything was iced over,
He was ready.
I was going crazy. And that wasn't because I was stuck at home. It's just because we need that connection with people, you know? Like,
Right.
It gives us, gives us energy.
I'm a lot that way.
Yeah.
I like to be out and about and hold up too much. It was fun to be at home some, but before the ice was over, I was like, man, we have got to get out of here.
Yeah.
So I was dragging the family out even before the ice was gone. So we did it. We did it.
There you go.
What time is it? 8:37. We got plenty of time left.
Wow.
To talk, so we're doing good. Doing good. And I was making sure that my video feed was working, so we're actually live. Even though it's frozen over here, it's not actually frozen out in Facebook and YouTube. So
Nice.
it's working.
Look at that.
So I don't know why it's frozen over there, but anyway.
Well, that's all right.
Anyway, well, we talked about a little bit about the restaurants. E3 Chop. I'm gonna look that up.
It's great. It's a really nice place for a date night. Now, I would say if you're going to take the kids,
Yes.
I would say, not that they won't like it, they'd probably love E3 Chop House, but I would say maybe save that for a special date.
Yeah.
If you're looking for another Old Faithful, it's Honey Fire in Bellevue.
Honey Fire.
Honey Fire. It is awesome barbecue.
Oh wow. We like barbecue.
Oh, yeah.
Who doesn't like barbecue?
Right? That's what I'm
Honey
saying.
Fire barbecue. Okay.
Honey Fire barbecue.
And now we're spoiled here because we have great barbecue spots.
Oh, yeah.
But it's they have very unique like sandwiches. That's really where they shine. It's not like if you're gonna get like just sliced brisket, don't drive all the way there to get sliced brisket. You get incredible sliced
Schaefer's.
brisket here.
That's right.
If you just
Heine's.
want good ribs or pulled pork, go to Heine's. But you got to get the sandwiches when you go there. Like my favorite, I think it's called the Southern Shine.
Oh, yeah.
And so it is pulled pork, their house-made sauce, candied bacon, pimento cheese, and a fried green tomato, all on a sandwich.
Southern Shine, baby. Oh, it's good.
Well, listen, I know something else about you guys. We're talking about eating all these places, but I know that you guys are very, very health conscious.
We are, to an extent. We
Not
are.
just to an extent. You guys are very health conscious about what you eat, but also your exercise routines and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
See that too. Makes me madder than a wet hen. But anyway, how did that come about? Has that always been a part of what you guys have done?
It pretty much has for me. I was a chubby kid and even bled over into high school. And so, at that age, I got into working out, to get in better shape, right, to lose some weight. And actually just kind of fell in love with it. I didn't play any sports or anything. I was mostly just a gym rat.
Yeah.
So that became my hobby. And no matter what, like if you're a golfer or whatever, for one, golf could be really expensive, but it's also dependent on the weather. But I could go to the gym anytime.
Yes.
And all it take would be, a gym membership. But also, and of course that ebbed and flowed through the years. But it was also really instrumental, like in my recovery. I battled with pain pill addiction in my, late teens and early 20s. And coming out of that, fitness and working out was, very key, to giving me something to focus on and look forward to. You definitely get that, that after workout high kind of feeling.
Right.
But even since then, in just our business and everything, this business can be very stressful. Anytime you're dealing with people, it can be very stressful.
Yes.
And so the focus has really become more on how it makes us feel rather than, how we look. Of course, side effect of that is, you do tend to improve how you look if you stay active and
fit.
consistent. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the focus is on how it makes you feel, right? So it's like when you're setting all these goals and things like that, right? When you want to lose 10 pounds or 20 pounds, if you ever hit that goal, right, you're going to let off the throttle. But if it's all about how it makes you feel, then there's no pressure, all right? There's no pressure to go in and just go all out in a workout. It's just to get it done, get a good sweat in, get the heart rate up, and you feel better, and you go on about the rest of your day, and you have a lot more energy. Especially if you don't just go all out like you're some professional athlete, and you're just sore and exhausted the rest of the day, but you go in and you get a good workout in, you feel great, and you have this energy for the rest of the day.
See, I could learn a lot from this guy.
I'm telling you.
on that part.
Yeah.
On that part.
And he's changed my perspective on working out too. You know, I used to dance in high school and that was fine. But then in college, I was like, well, I don't have to go work out today, so I'm not going to. So I would just go to the gym every now and again just for fun. And then when we got married, I started kind of consistently working out with him because that was how he wanted to spend his lunch break because it helped him feel better. And then now, like, I see that I'm so much more clear-headed if I can get up and, like, get a workout in, then I can focus a lot better during the day. So it is definitely more about how I feel.
Yeah. You mentioned, and you may not want to talk about this if you don't, but you mentioned the pain pill stuff.
Yeah.
And you may or may not want to talk about that chapter, but...
I'm an open book.
Some people could benefit from that maybe, because I don't know a lot of the detail about that, but I know that there was a time and a point where you struggled with some issues.
Yeah,
there.
absolutely.
And so that may be something that I didn't know if I had to ask you about that or not. But, But I think I will since you mentioned it, because you've recovered from it, obviously. Mm-hmm. But there was a dark time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what happened?
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't have to get into the weeds of all that.
Sure. No.
You know, but basically, you know, a lot of people think that addiction is just this, you know, incurable disease that, you know, that people, you know, get struck with or whatever. It's just unfortunate. And that they have to, you know, fight to keep it in remission for the rest of your lives. But that's not true. It's not actually true. So addiction is basically just, it's just a symptom.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Addiction is a symptom of something else that's going on.
Right.
That's why a lot of times people don't actually ever find freedom from it, is because they see it more as the problem. Now, it is a problem for sure, and it creates even more problems.
Right.
All right. It's definitely a problem in my life and all my relationships and everything. Right. And so it impacts finances and your jobs and everything. Right. Because it puts you in a position to be selfish, where you will feed that addiction before you feed anything else in your life, before you focus on anything else. However, it's just a symptom of something else.
Yeah.
Something deeper. And to me, and for most people I've found, it's, you know, it starts with insecurity, right? But it's also how you respond to that insecurity.
Yeah.
You know, so for me, it was a lot of things, all right? It was just this voice of this inner critic, me being a chubby kid, like, you know, all these little things stack up, right? You don't actually have to battle with this major traumatic event in your life, you know, to get to the extent where you need to live a distracted life. And basically that's all it is like we don't learn how to cope with things. So we figure out a way to distract ourselves, you know, and most people aren't looking for that, right? I wasn't looking for that. But when I found it, it was a welcomed relief, and I wanted to do it again and again and again and again.
Yeah.
You know, and so that's why I believe that the only way that we could actually receive freedom from that is through a relationship with Jesus.
Amen.
Because it's only there that we can find forgiveness. All right, we find forgiveness from Him, but we also learn how to forgive ourselves through that, and that's what it takes, is that forgiveness. But we have to look at it as a symptom, right? It's like if you get a headache every day, every single day, you can take Tylenol every day, you can get rid of it.
Yeah.
But at some point, you got to say, hey, I want to stop getting headaches.
Yeah.
So I got to figure out what's causing this headache.
Right.
And we got to get to the bottom of it, and we got to get some healing in here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And you've come through.
Absolutely.
You've come through. And by the grace of God.
By the grace of God,
Amen.
100%.
Amen. Amen. Well, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, we talked about the health aspect, and I agree with you. That is how I have gotten in the shape that I'm in. What are you laughing
I'm sorry.
Where are you going with this, Jeff?
I know it was a joke, and
I'm eager to hear where you're going with it.
Well, I've got a little age on you. I used to be a little bit of a gym rat myself. I did some weightlifting and
Did you really?
Got into that years ago. I played tennis years ago, and I really at some point in life got too busy, or I thought too busy to do it. But you know, I really miss it. And now I feel like I'm so far behind. I may never get back to being active again. It's like, and I keep saying I'm going to. I keep saying I'm going to. It's one of those things. So maybe I will.
You can. The goal is just a little bit every day.
That's
you know,
true.
even if it's walking around
Yeah,
your
that's true.
property. Like,
That's true.
the goal is just to move a little bit every day, and then you'll start to feel better. And when you start to feel better, you'll become more motivated. But it starts with self-discipline.
You know, it's better to look good than to feel good, they said. I'm just kidding.
Oh, I was gonna say, I don't know about that.
That's an old Saturday Night Live line that came out years ago. Y'all are too young for that, but there was a character on there. Billy Crystal was the character. You remember Billy Crystal?
I love Billy Crystal.
He was on Saturday Night Live, and there was a character that he played, and that was one of his lines. Better to look good than to feel good. That was just one of those deals.
That's hilarious.
I was playing an old Saturday Night Live clip yesterday. It just reminded me from Gilda Radner. That's before y'all's time.
Oh man!
But she had a character named Rosanna Dana.
I've actually heard you talk about that character
Oh my
before.
gosh, she is so funny. It's so funny. She'd get on something and she'd always be wrong about it, but she would rant and rave for like, 5 minutes or so before somebody said, "You don't know what you're talking about," and she'd say, "Never mind." Good stuff. 8:48. I've got Tyler and Jackie Henson in here, the Henson team, a part of my company, and we need to talk about a little bit the fact that you guys have a real estate business, and we've got a few more minutes left before we have to go. We've talked about a little bit of everything. I didn't want to make it all about real estate.
Well, all right.
Didn't want to make it all about that, but you guys have built a tremendous business, and actually, you and I were talking about it yesterday. You were one of the top 10 agents in our company in the region, and I'm talking about in the region, Southeast region.
Oh yeah.
And that's pretty awesome.
Thank you.
Considering the markets that our region considers. I mean, this is the Nashville market, and what else is
Atlanta.
it? Atlanta, all of it.
Yeah. Atlanta's probably the biggest.
Atlanta's the biggest, but even taking in the Atlanta agents group, you guys were in the top 10.
Thank you.
Number 8 is
Number 8.
Number
yeah.
8, baby.
That's
Doesn't
pretty
seem
doggone, pretty doggone awesome. And you guys have been incredible in building the business. But you've worked at it.
Absolutely.
You've worked at it, studied it, know what's going on. So,
Yeah.
and you built up quite a trust with your clients, and I can appreciate that. I really do. You guys are doing a great job.
Thank you. We've been very blessed.
Doing a great job. What would be next on the agenda for you guys? Are you just going to keep coasting, or you got plans out there? Anything that you could share with us about what the future might look like?
Well, if we could start coasting, that'd be great.
Start coasting. Yeah.
It's been a hustle for a while.
What was it? Somebody said, the harder I work, the luckier I get.
Yeah.
I've heard that.
I've heard that.
I've heard that.
That's something like that. Anyway, it's 8:50, guys. I'm asking you, what do you think about I get this all the time, and I know you do. I get this all the time. We talked about it just yesterday. What's the market going to do, Jeff? What's the market going to do? What's it look like? And we get that question a lot. People are concerned. It's an election year. The political world is just a total upheaval. And I know you keep up with things. You keep up with especially the real estate market, and that's what we get asked about a lot. We're like, what's the market look like to the Henson team?
Well, there's no crystal ball.
There is not. I say that all the time. Nobody has a crystal ball.
Anybody that tells you what's going to happen is just guessing.
Yeah.
And we do our best guess, based on the information that we have.
Sure.
I think the Fed is planning, 3 interest rate drops, this year on the Fed rate. But I mean, who knows what they're going to do, right? It's anticipated they're going to leave it the same. But this is all industry terms. So basically, here's what I always tell people: there's no true timing the market, right? Unless you're an investor. We don't work with a ton of investors. Where we really, feel like we can shine is where we can give people an incredible experience buying their own personal home or selling their personal home, marketing that property. And so that's the majority of our audience. So keeping that in mind, what I typically tell people is the best time to buy is when you need a home. The best time to sell is when you need to move.
Yeah.
And
when it's needed.
And you do have to take market conditions into consideration in your decision, right? So it's like we would like to have more space. but does it make sense to leave our home right now? What is our current interest rate? What's the interest rate that we're going to be getting on our new home? And all that is changing, rapidly. Mm-hmm. And so it's taking all that into consideration. But, our personal home, right, is the number one greatest American wealth builder. And we can't deny that. But it's also not just an investment, so we don't need to look at it as just an investment. It's also our home, right? And
exactly.
we saw during COVID, we saw during the week of the ice storm, like it's our, it's our space, right, where we can go and unwind and de-stress, or maybe somebody was under a little more stressful than others, but ideally it's the place that we go. And so we have to keep that in consideration, right? Do we need more space, or is it just I kind of like to have it? If that's the case, just wait it out. You don't have to have it right now. If now is not a great time for you to buy, if you don't have much cash saved up, or you don't have a lot of equity in your home, or your payment's going to go up more than what's reasonably affordable for you, then just wait. Your home value is going to go up. You're going to keep paying your mortgage off. Interest rates are going to come up and down, right? They ebb and flow.
That's right.
At that point, it's like the only way to time it is when it's like what those current conditions are.
Sure. You're answering a lot of questions there for someone who's thinking about buying or selling. Mm-hmm. Those are all the considerations that need to be brought up to them to help them think about what kind of decision to make. And that's one of the things that I say about our company all the time, is that we're not pressuring you to do one thing or the other. We're going to try to give you good information so you can make a decision, a good decision for you and your own circumstance.
Right.
And I made the point just yesterday that it doesn't matter what the market is. It matters what you have to do right now, and the information that you've got to make a good decision to deal with whatever circumstance you're in. So if it's your time to sell, then it really doesn't matter what the market is. You've got to deal with your circumstance to try to sell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If your time to buy, it doesn't matter what the market is. You got to deal with your circumstance to try to buy. And so you need good information and good agents and good help to make that happen. And I'm proud to say that we've got a good stable full, including you guys, and very much so including you guys, to help do that. It makes a lot of difference. And the information is key.
Yeah, because a lot of times, the best time to buy is the most uncomfortable time to buy, right? Where you may not be as financially stable.
Yeah.
And at that point, it don't matter, because you're taking a high risk at that point, even though it's the best time to buy, So it's all things considered, right? And it's like, we don't have to pressure anyone saying, well, now's still a good time to buy. Now's still a good time to buy. It's like, I hate, I can't stand that.
Yeah.
It's because everybody's circumstance is different, right?
It's different for each and every one. It's right.
We come in and we give them guidance and give them the information that they need to make the decision that's best for them. And then, depending on the situation, we might make recommendations or we might not. I might say, here's the information, hopefully this helps you make your decision. Let me know how I can help.
Sure.
Because, we're not looking for a great year. We're looking for a great career. All right. Whether the right time for them to buy and sell is today or 10 years from now, all right, we're going to be here.
Yes, absolutely. Good, very good, sound, solid thoughts. And basically, it's the idea that we try to instill in all of our agents at Keller Williams anyway, is that it's about customer service. It's about taking care of the client.
Yeah.
It's about taking care of their needs. It's not about how many properties I can sell or talk anybody in or out of anything. It's about helping someone accomplish what they need to accomplish, and do it in a way that's good, fair, honest, straight up, with good information. And there's no other way to do it, really.
Yeah. Well, and I say this all the time. If a real estate agent believes that they're a salesman, they've missed it. They've missed their mark.
Yeah.
Because they're not salesmen.
I agree with that.
They provide a service. They don't sell anything.
Yeah, we don't actually own the inventory that we sell.
That's true.
We provide a service.
We're a broker service.
Yeah.
That's what we are. We're a service industry business.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. That's exactly right. And we don't really own anything that we sell. We're representing buyers and sellers.
And we don't actually sell it. Yeah, we facilitate a transaction and we give people guidance, or we market the property, right? We market it. It's not sales, it is marketing.
That's right. Typically, though, we're thought of,
That's true.
We're thought of as salespeople all the time.
Well, we do have to sell our services, right? Like anybody.
That's true.
Whether you're cutting hair or whatever it is that you're doing, you do have to, sell your services, but we're not actually salespeople, we're service people.
That's exactly right.
Oh, that's good.
Well, now we're just getting smarter all the time.
Look at us go.
We're just getting smarter all the time. You guys, I really, really thank you. I had, normally I've tried to schedule out. I've got someone scheduled for next Wednesday, and I explained to y'all how this program works, and my Wednesdays are my guest time.
Yeah.
And I had a blank space, and you guys were willing to come in on a moment's notice and come in. So I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I really, really do. You guys have been fun, always fun. And enjoyed getting to visit with you this morning and yesterday too. You guys came by the office yesterday. By the way, how do you like the office?
It is beautiful.
It looks great.
Did you see the office? We've done a remodel. I've been bragging on the remodel here.
You should.
Yeah, and
It looks great.
We got it looking good over there.
It looks great.
It looks like it should look.
Yes.
That's right. That's right.
Well, we really appreciate you having us on.
Yeah.
Well, buddy, I do. We
We've
still got a
enjoyed it.
couple of minutes to kill, but any last words for us, Miss Jackie, on what are we going to do today?
Oh, well, today
You got a closing today?
we do.
I do too.
Oh, look at you go.
Yeah.
So today, of course, we have to go work out.
Gotta go work out.
Got to go work out because you got to get your mind right. And then we'll have to do some work at home, and I'll have to make our closing cookies, which I'm super excited
About what time will they be ready?
Nunya o'clock.
I need a. Where is the closing?
The closing is at Alan Bett's office. I'm super excited, though. We love working with them. They're really, really great.
Yeah,
but
they're
we've
good
got
folks down there.
great clients, so I'm excited to close for them today, and it's going to be a good day. And then Tyler actually has his addiction recovery ministry in the jail this evening.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
You do
Yeah.
some jail ministry. You're still doing that. Been doing that a while, haven't you?
Over a decade.
I thought so.
Yeah.
I
Long
thought
time.
So. I used to do that some myself. I may want to go with you one night. Of course, you do it on Wednesday nights.
I do.
All right, I'll have to pluck a Wednesday night out, and can you take somebody with you?
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes?
Yeah. We'll just have to get you a background check. I'm sure you'll be fine.
You got to be thoroughly vetted, Jeff.
Well, I used to go with Brother Buford Springer on Sunday mornings. We used to go early on Sunday mornings, and he did it for many, many, many years here.
How about
So
that?
I started I was helping with the jail ministry many years ago, long before the new jail, actually.
Wow.
Wow,
And,
very
then,
cool.
Then the new jail came. We did it there too. But anyway, I should show you some pictures. We had inmates that would, sometimes make a profession of faith.
Yeah.
And at that time, the sheriff department would even allow us. They would bring them to Crockett Park Falls, and we would baptize them in the creek there.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Isn't that neat?
That
That
is
is
awesome.
I got some old pictures of Brother Springer and us doing that. Share that with you one of these days.
Absolutely. I'd
That's
love that.
awesome.
Hey guys, thank you so much. I'm gonna have you back, okay?
Yeah.
A little later on, we'll do another round with Jackie and Tyler Henson, the Henson team, a great part of our Keller Williams office here in Lawrenceburg. You guys, I love you.
Love you, brother.
See you, man.
She tells Fox what a criminal who befriended the 15-year-old did on Facebook Messenger.
Send him child sexual abuse material